main source of electricity in each Brazilian state. We see a lot of hydro energy, also a lot of wind, biomass, some coal down there, and a lot of diesel and natural gas. But wow, they have 51% of the country is powered by hydrogen, 12% with wind and 12% with solar, 8 with gas, 8 with biomass, 4 with oil, and 1.7 with coal. Also 0.9 with nuclear. They have like almost 75% renewable energies. I thought Brazil would be a lot dirtier, but that's incredible high. I thought like gas and oil is like 60% and maybe 50, but they did a good job there, especially with the whole hydrogen. I hope that this will go to 100% in the next 10 years, but all in all, that's really good. 2022 GDP growth, EU compared to the US. Okay, so we see in Europe, most of the countries are like this green category with 1.5 growth or more, except France, Finland, Denmark, and Slovakia. These are just having 1.4, 1.3, and 1.1 growth. Also Switzerland with only 0.7 growth. The only countries in Europe which are in a recession, so where their GDP decreased, is Latvia and Estonia with minus 2.3 and minus 0.4 GDP. The fastest growing economy this last year was Ireland, Spain, Portugal, and Poland. Oh, also Croatia and Iceland. Okay. So all in all, pretty okay for the circumstances. And in the US, looks very similar with a lot of green, but also a lot of yellow, especially in the West and the Midwest. Also, recessions had South Dakota, Indiana, and Mississippi, with all like around 0.5% down. And the fastest in the US was Alaska, Texas, and Oklahoma. All in all, the US GDP grew by 0.9% and the EU GDP grew by 2.5%. So comparing this, the EU actually beat the US in terms of GDP growth. But I wonder, how did Ireland get 10%? That's huge. I mean, the rest I can understand, but also Texas and Alaska with almost 9%. That's pretty strong. Yeah, but all again, we see around the coast, it looks all greener than like in the center of the country. Together has the EU an area of 1.6 million square miles or 4.2 million square kilometers, a population of 474 million people, and a GDP around 24 billion US dollars. The US has a GDP of around 25 billion US dollars, a population of 333 million, and also an area of around 10 million square kilometers, and that's 3.8 million square miles. Now we see separatist movements in the US. I think one of the most famous ones, Texas down here. Then we see around Texas, Republic of Aztlan. I don't know that, is it maybe some Native American stuff? Same with State of Deseret next there. I don't know what that is either. Then the Republic of California. Yeah, that's also pretty known. And Republic of Cascadia also heard, like Oregon and Washington, right? And then Northwest American Republic. Don't know there was a separatist movement for that. And I think Republic of Yucatan is Native Americans. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Then in the south we have the Republic of New Africa, so basically where the Afro-Americans are dominantly populated. Under that, the Republic of Florida. Okay, I didn't know they wanted to be independent. I mean, why? You are so connected to all of that. And then more in the north, the Confederate States of America. I thought there would be in the south, more in the south. Okay, stretching all the way to, is that Maryland? I think that's no, that's Delaware actually. And then in New England, just some weird New England stuff that nobody actually cares. No front against the New England states. Oh, I forgot Alaska and Hawaii. I can see that they're pretty far away from the mainland. So yeah, I think the closest one to succeed is actually Texas, but no one is really close of being to succeed. But yeah, interesting. Also interesting to see that around the Great Lakes and the Rust Belt literally is nothing. Percentage of total wealth owned by the top 1%. So we start with the biggest one, Russia. Almost 50% of the wealth is owned by the top 1%. That's crazy. And then a lot of Central Europe being around 30%, also pretty high. Turkey with almost 40%, Switzerland with 31%, and then in Western Europe around 25%. And then Slovakia, Belgium, and the Netherlands actually being just around 16%. That's pretty good, I think. Also Finland with almost 20. But yeah, you just can see how unfair that is. And there's countries that are more corrupt and oligarchies like Russia, they own almost everything. I thought Ukraine would be higher. I thought they had also a lot of oligarchs and stuff. And for one time, the Balkan being not completely disunited. They are all around 22 to 25%. Also Italy and Spain. I think everything over like 20% is just way too much. Actually, 20% is even too much. But what is realistic to do is 20%, I think, a good limit for the rich. Death penalty in 2021. Executions per 1 million. In green we got 0, most of the world. Then in this orange we got 0.01 to 0.3. I can only see the US, Belarus, Japan, Bangladesh and the UAE. Okay. Then we already got in red 0.3 to 1. That's like in South Sudan, Egypt, Iraq, and in Yemen. I feel that's already pretty much. I think the death penalty is generally not something for the 21st century. Yeah, but there are still a lot of countries doing it. Then we got 1 to 3 per 1 million. And that's, is it Botswana? Yeah, it's Botswana, Somalia, Syria, and Saudi Arabia. And then more than 3 is only in Iran. Yeah. I mean, these countries over here are, generally speaking, a little bit more conservative, if you can say that. I don't think that countries should use death penalty. But yeah, interesting. I thought that more countries would still use death penalty. Good to know it's not that much. Oh, we forgot for these 3 we have no data. Vietnam, China, North Korea. Probably also being pretty high over there. The best and worst countries for LGBTQ travelers. We got from +12 to -20, okay. Oh, it's according to the Gay Travel Index, 2021. So we see the Western Hemisphere looks way friendlier than the East. I mean, in the Americas, pretty much everyone they're friendly, like, except in Central America and in some South American countries like Peru, Colombia, Paraguay. And then in Europe, in Western Europe, they're pretty friendly, except Italy. That's pretty low, what I think is pretty surprising. Eastern Europe is already a lot more negative about that, which I think is, yeah, pretty stupid, but okay. And then all of Asia is pretty red. The only countries where it's more neutral, like Japan, South Korea, China actually being neutral, and then India and Nepal. Also Thailand. Oh, and Taiwan down there is very friendly. Same for Australia and New Zealand. And then in Africa, it's hell. Except South Africa. There's super anti. Except maybe Mozambique and Angola, there is no one who's friendly to them. And the worst places in the world are actually Somalia, Iran, that dot in Russia, which I don't know what that is, and Saudi Arabia. Yeah. I think that fits pretty good. And also, where is Qatar? Qatar is down there. Actually, not that horrible as like Saudi Arabia. The best places are Canada, like Iberia, Sweden, Germany, England, and Australia and New Zealand. And also Uruguay and Malta. Yeah, I think that's just stupid. The countries still make it illegal to be queer or generally hate them. So I think, yeah, we shouldn't do that. It's 2023. I just really hope that in the next 20 years that will turn a lot more green. And especially in the next like 100 years that will be all green. Because there's just no place in the 21st century for like homophobia and that stuff. Okay, where every country stands on the Russia-Ukraine war. In blue, this dark blue, we have in favor for all, so they voted all the time against Russia. Again, almost all of the Western Hemisphere, almost all of Europe, except Russia and Belarus. Africa is pretty divided between like neutral and in favor for Ukraine. In this orange, we got against or abstained, so abstained or voted sometimes against Ukraine. And then this very dark red voted against all. Yeah. So only Belarus, Russia, North Korea, and Syria, and the rest is pretty much pro-Ukraine. I mean, except the orange guys, and the white guys are like, yeah, no, they just keep out. South Africa. I thought South Africa would be on side from Russia, but actually not. Same with India, but this looks pretty dominated by blue. So Let's hope they will win that soon and then it's just over. This war is just horrible. And Afghanistan voting completely in favor for Ukraine. I didn't expect that. Okay. Is it an error or did Taiwan really vote against Ukraine? If yes, I really would not expect that. Oh, wait, I'm stupid. They aren't in the UN, so they can't vote. Ah, okay. Human Development Index in the US versus Europe. Let's start with the US. It's pretty much everywhere there's dark blue and there's more light blue. Then some green in the deep south, and generally the south. And then the only country with yellow, so 850 to 875, is Mississippi. So basically everywhere it's over 880, around that. And then in Europe it looks pretty much more colorful. We got like the pretty rich countries like Ireland, Germany, France, Norway, Sweden, that stuff, we all in over 900. And then Italy and Spain in green, and Portugal with orange. And then all east to Czechia and Slovenia, Austria, and Germany is at best yellow. That's not good. You can still really see the East-West divide from the Cold War. The East is so much more underdeveloped than the West. That's crazy, especially like Ukraine, Moldavia, Serbia, all of the former Yugoslavian countries. Yeah, that also needs to go way higher. And we see in North Africa also all red. That's also not good. Oh, and also the highest are Massachusetts, Connecticut, Norway, DC, Minnesota, North Dakota, Colorado, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, and Washington. I mean, Massachusetts with 960 points, that's so huge. I don't think you can get even higher or much higher than that. That is why gerrymandering sucks. For all who doesn't know what gerrymandering is, in the US often the governments do some pretty weird stuff where they make like the district where they vote in such shape that one is super dominant and the other side then wins. So like here it was actually a Democrat win with 51%, but the Republicans got the senator or won the election because they put all the Democrats in one district, so it would just count as one, as the votes from one district, and all the other votes of the Democrats in all these red districts wouldn't count. That's a stupid system that the US has, which I really don't like and think is just outdated. But you see that New Orleans, 80 to 90% Democrat. That's crazy. And then the rest, like half Republican, only one more Republican is that here, 60-70%. But yeah, I don't think that should be allowed, and it's just anti-democratic and discriminating. Why do countries people ? So, why do French people eat snails? Why Spanish people have a lisp? Why Portuguese look Arab? Why Germans stare? Do we stare? What? And then the Netherlands wear wooden shows. I think that's okay. Why does the British say X? What? Okay. Why does the Czechs and the Norwegians celebrate Christmas on the 24th of December? Don't that do like a lot of Europe? I think that Germany does that too, and I think also France and like the lowland countries. Why does Ukraine speak Russian? Belarus speak Russian? Why does Russia love Adidas? Why does Finnish look Asian? I think because their ancestors originated from Asia, like the Ural region, more eastern Russia. Why do Swedish hate Danes? Why does Iceland believe in elves? Why does Hungary eat goulash? I don't know. Romania is just nothing. Croatians look Asian, Slovenians hate Serbians. Turkey pump thumb in mouth. What? Yeah. Interesting map. Arctic coastal communities. So around the Arctic Circle, how huge are the communities over there? In this very little dot we have 0 to 100. I don't see that much anywhere. Okay, then this bigger circle 100 to 500. Yeah, we can see it in Russia some, and in Iceland. There. 500 to 1000, this orange circle. Yeah, we can see that a lot. Around here, Canada, Norway, here in Alaska, and then 1000 to 25,000, these more pink thing. That's actually a lot. We can see that everywhere, like here, everywhere, there, there. I didn't thought there would be so many people everywhere, especially like here in Canada. I didn't thought anyone would live here. Same for Russia. And then 25,000 to 50,000 in this color I don't know the English name for. Also a lot around the coast. And then greater than 50,000 in this white, which we can only really see in Norway and some, I think like that there is Murmansk, like a very big Russian city. Yeah, I thought like 3 people would live here, but seems to be much more. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. You can click on the next video, it will be a similar reaction. Have a great day, bye.